Who knows what you would find if you could plunge deep down into the unfathomable depths of the ocean. Several ancient sea creatures, like the Loch Ness Monster, the Hydra Leviathan, and many others, were referenced in stories that date back hundreds of years. Okay, so no one has ever seen such monsters, but there are plenty of strange and extremely large sea spiders, squid worms, and other creatures that grew far more than we had anticipated. View the enormous squid from the subantarctic waters. Its length exceeds that of the arrow squid that dwells close to New Zealand by almost 14 times. And there is a sea sponge the size of a minivan down in the Pacific Ocean. About 96.5% of the water on our planet is in the oceans, and up to 80% of all life that has been identified on Earth is found beneath the waves. However, only about 80% of the ocean has been studied, mapped, or even seen. In actuality, we have a better map of Mars than we do of the ocean floor. There is incredible pressure down there. Additionally, you would feel as though you were supporting almost 50 jumbo jets. Additionally, the temperature is very low at such depths. The environment is hostile down under the ocean's surface. Therefore, the local wildlife must adapt. To survive, several of them grew to be extremely large. Deep-sea gigantism is a phenomena that explains why organisms that dwell in the Chile, dark depths are so large. There is less sunshine the lower you descend below the ocean's surface. The precipitous drop in temperature is due to this. As a result, cells grow bigger and creatures live longer. These organisms also have smaller food supplies and less oxygen than marine animals that reside in shallower waters. Only a small amount of food trickles down to the deeper areas. The majority of their food originates from shallower seas. Additionally, having a huge frame is advantageous when food is scarce. Larger animals can go further and more quickly in search of food. They have a slower metabolic rate. They don't digest their food very quickly, allowing them to retain food and save energy for difficult times. When they are unable to find food, they also save some energy by not having to control their body temperature, which they can then use for other bodily functions. Compared to those who live in shallow waters, they mature later and more slowly. Most fish species that reside in deep waters have lifespans of 30 years or even longer. The orange ruffy fish, on the other hand, can live up to 150 years and can reach lengths of 24 feet and weights of 1.5 tons. However, it becomes so large over the generations that they begin looking for companions at 150 years old. Since there are fewer predators at such depths, they can also survive for this long. Additionally, neither humans nor other living things live nearby that could endanger or bother them. The environment is relatively stable at these depths. Because they have likely not changed in millions of years, many species are like living fossils. The open ocean is defined as the first 650 feet of the ocean's depth. Since that is the region where the sun can still be seen, that is where the majority of the marine life we have found resides. You eventually enter the twilight zone as you keep going deeper. It appears that nobody lives there. At around 820 feet, however, you notice a tiny oasis of prehistoric life flourishing. Sea lilies are one species of animal that has lived in such depths unaltered for millions of years. Another living fossil is the coelacanth, which has existed in the seas for more than 360 million years. Hagfish have not altered significantly in a very long time. 300 million years or more. It developed before the rest of the vertebrates, which explains why it is the only living thing without jaws or a spine. This creature lives at depths of 5,500 feet. It still has a skull, though. Deep-sea organisms have evolved to thrive in depths under greater hydrostatic pressure since they can't survive in shallow waters. If we could reach such depths, humans and other organisms with gas-filled interior chambers would be crushed. Even if they don't venture very deep to the locations where these giants thrive, deep-sea divers always need to wear specialized dive suits made for environments with higher pressure. However, gigantism is far more prevalent close to Antarctica. They all prefer to hang out in shallower seas, just like massive single-celled animals, giant sponges, sea slugs, sea spiders, dinner plate-sized worms, and sea slugs. Although they are unsure of the precise reason, scientists believe oxygen may be involved. Due to the relatively abundant oxygen in the waters surrounding Antarctica and the fact that giant species barely utilize any of it, there is almost no limit to how huge these animals can get. To return to the deep water organisms, it should be noted that they had to adapt to high pressure, which is why their bodies hardly contain any air openings at all. They are mainly based on water. Additionally, the fact that water is incompressible, that is, it cannot be compressed, ensures that they are unaffected by the high pressure. But because of everything, if they rose to the surface, they would likely swell and possibly even explode. Just take a look at the blobfish, which holds the record for being the world's ugliest animal. Deep below the surface, in its natural home, it appears normal. However, it transforms into a different shape when it reaches the surface, where there is 120 times less pressure. The blobfish has no backbone and no muscles. Therefore, without strong deep-sea pressure, it becomes all floppy and droopy. Not only are the murky ocean depths unsettling to look at, but they are also unsettling to hear. Scientists were looking for submerged volcanoes off the coast of South America in 1997. They captured one of the loudest sounds ever heard while on their journey. It was also quite strange. Even sensors more than 3,000 miles away were able to detect it because it was so loud. Later, they referred to it as the blue. It took them 15 years to determine that the sound was caused by an ice earthquake. Seismic activity then thaws the frozen ground. Not all of the ocean's deep water is freezing cold. The water that emerges from hydrothermal vents on the bottom can reach temperatures of up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit. Strong pressure, yes, the same thing that prevents the water from boiling is the one that would crush you. Numerous animal species inhabit the area around deep-sea hydrothermal vents. Some of them, like tube worms, are unlike anything we have ever encountered. These worms take in chemical compounds from twisted fluids. They feed the microorganisms that reside inside them in this way. In exchange, those bacteria provide the carbon that the tube worms require to survive. The majority of the coral species that have been identified by scientists are found to live in deep, cold, and gloomy areas of the ocean. Some can even endure temperatures as low as 28 degrees Fahrenheit and live in regions that are 3 miles underground. These cold water corals range in age from 800 years and older. They create incredible structures that can reach heights of 115 feet. The deep is more than just a strange planet filled with strange animals. Even the Grand Canyon seems little compared to the terrain beneath the ocean's surface because of the canyons below. Consider the Jim Chug Canyon in the Bering Sea, where the vertical relief reaches a depth of more than 8,500 feet. That is a lot. Not the ones you can see from the shoreline are the biggest ocean waves. They are known as internal waves as they happen underneath the surface. They happen in the space between two different density water bodies. They can reach heights of 650 feet and travel at speeds of thousands of miles per hour. It's all done for today. Hey, if your curiosity has been satisfied, then please like and share the video with your friends. Alternatively, you can stay on the Advancers Inside world by subscribing to our channel if you want more.